In this video, I'm going to show you how you can edit your images to make them a more appropriate size for use on your web pages, and also to create thumbnails, which is something that you're going to do as part of your exercises this week. I have here a picture of my new puppy, and I took it with my camera, and you'll notice that it's a very large size. It takes up a lot of storage space, and it is large in dimensions. If you don't see dimensions like this in Windows Explorer, just simply point to the menu bar here and right click, and you'll see a variety of different columns that you can turn on and off. So if dimensions is not on, select that. I'm going to turn off this tags because I don't need it. And now you'll see I have this is the width and then the height. I'm going to open my picture, the picture of my puppy, in a program called Paint.net. Paint.net is not Paint. Paint is an accessory in Windows, but Paint.net is a free photo editor that you can download. It's sort of like a light version of Photoshop. It has some of those features. So for those of you who are so inclined, you may want to play with these things, and really you can do a lot with Paint.net. And yes, it is 100% free. So there's the picture of my puppy, and I want to start by taking a look at the image. I'm going to use the resize menu, and you'll see that right now this is going to be a very large size photo, and we know that we don't want to send photos that large over the internet. It slows down our web pages. Also, the image is going to be really big. That's bigger than our pages are right now. One of the things I want you to pay attention to when you start to resize images is maintaining the aspect ratio so that you don't skew the picture. So you'll notice there's a checkbox here. I'm going to uncheck it just so that you can see the effects of not doing this. So let's say I decided that I wanted my picture to be only 500 pixels wide. Say OK. Notice I adjusted the width, but the height didn't get adjusted. Look what happens to my little puppy. That's not what I wanted. So I'm going to undo that, go back to image resize. And similarly, if I said, well, how about if I make him 500 pixels by 500 pixels? Again, I'm not maintaining that aspect ratio. Now I made him a squatty little puppy. And that's not what I want to do either. I want to resize the image so that he stays in proportion. So make sure maintain aspect ratio is selected. So you have options to do this by percentage, or you could do this by selecting a specific width or height, and I'll show you both. So right now, if I were to select 500 pixels, watch what happens to the height. It adjusts accordingly so that the puppy picture gets sized so that he doesn't look any different. I can also do this by percentage. So let's say I want to take this down to 50%. You'll notice that it shows me how large the image will be, and it also shows me the new size. That's still too big, so I'm going to go a little further. I'll take it down to 25%. And you notice that the file size has been greatly reduced. The image size has also been greatly reduced. The resolution is at 72 pixels per inch, which is fine for a website. So now when I say OK, my picture, you're not really seeing much happening here because it was such a large picture. I had to make it smaller just so that it could fit on this page. But the overall dimensions have been affected. Now, another thing I want to do, I'm going to save that. I'm going to save my puppy picture. I'll save it as puppy 1. Okay. So now you'll notice I have two versions. This was my original puppy picture, which was 1512 by 2016 dimensions. Now my resized picture is 378 by 504. I'm going to open this image, and now I'm going to create what's called a thumbnail. So I'm going to use the rectangle select tool here, and then I'm going to select. Now if I don't like that, I can just click off and I can try again. I'd like this to be a little bit more of a square. Okay, and I'm going to copy that and make a new picture. You'll notice that the size of the new file is going to be the size that I selected here. And I will paste. Oops. And now I have just a smaller version of his face, and I'm going to save that as Puppy Small. You'll notice that this is a ping, and pings are very commonly used on websites now. And I will close paint.net. And you notice I now actually have three versions of my picture. The original, which is good to keep because that's your higher resolution, and if you don't like the results of the changes that you've made, you can always go back to the original. I have the picture that was, oops, let me open that. It was resized, and then the smaller version of the puppy with just the close-up of his face. Now I can use well, I wouldn't use this first one, it's just too big, but now I have both of these to use. On your assignment this week, you're actually going to do something similar with a picture of yourself, and you will size the picture appropriately so that it fits on a web page, and then you're also going to create a head and shoulders shot of you, turn it into a little thumbnail, and that's going to be on your home page, and you'll use these as part of your exercise this week.